we are dealing with here is an eating machine.
Out of the water now! Now!
Jaws is the story of a peaceful, profitable seaside resort town that gets haunted and terrorized by a giant 26-foot shark. Now, if you believe that,
you're gonna need a bigger boat.
In June 1975, just when America thought it was safe to go into the water, Steven Spielberg unleashed a monster hit. The first film to break $100 million, Jaws not only devoured all competition at the box office, but kept people out of the water and in the theater.
it just skyrocketed around the planet. Everybody wanted to see this movie, and it was the kind of movie that people went back 2, 3, 4 times to see.
But when Peter Benchley's bestseller first surfaced on theater screens, no one expected it to be such a success, least of all, the people who made it.
I was introduced to Steven. He was talking to another writer. And as I was approaching them, they were talking about this giant shark that comes up out of the water and smashes and destroys a boat. And I remember thinking, these guys are crazy.
Even director Steven Spielberg had his doubts and feared the film might sink his career. After all, Jaws was only his second feature. He'd barely convinced the studio to shoot on location in Martha's Vineyard, had bribed the locals, hired a reluctant cast, and still had a bigger problem.
I'll always remember Mr. Spielberg sitting on the camera barge, way down in a seat like this, waiting for the damn shark to work. And waiting, and waiting, and waiting, and waiting.
Ironically, it's the waiting that keeps audiences on the edge of their seats, anxious to catch a glimpse of the man-eater. But the great white shark eludes the camera until well into the movie, lurking below the lens in one of the most frightening build-ups in history.
There is the universal fear of water, whether it's in a sink or in a pond or in a river or in the toilet or no matter where it is. Anything that has water in it that you can't see into is frightening.
You know the thing about a shark, he doesn't seem to be living until he bites you.
Nonetheless, Jaws could not get Oscar's attention for Best Picture. Instead, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest took home the prize statuette. Jaws, however, did leave a lasting impression. It won 3 other Academy Awards, redefined the Hollywood disaster film, and to this day, makes people everywhere think twice before going into the water.
I swim in the ocean, but I don't go out very far. I have very good respect for the water. And since making this film, I swim looking around a lot.
Hear more from Roy Scheider throughout the film. And now, Jaws, one of the new classics on TNT.
JAWGUST. JAWGUST. JAWGUST, it is JAWGUST, where I will be watching Jaws each day. Podcast, got a podcast, but I'm not quite sure what I will say. The choice of this time I give you pause, 'cause it has nothing to do with Jaws. JAWGUST, it is JAWGUST, where every day I will watch Jaws and talk about Jaws. It helps if you like Jaws.
I want to start to explain when I first fell in love with this movie.
That
So
is absolutely.
this is Human Centipede podcast, right?
Yes. It's
I just sketched that up.
Okay, I'm glad I'm recording. I'm not going to share the video, but I'm saving that.
I'm saving it up.
So I'm
putting it
gonna
up in my kids' room.
Yeah, I just want to make a quick introduction to who's joining me today. He is a lifelong Jaws fan, and I did the math. I've known him now for 40 years.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Hi, lady and gentlemen. There's no ladies involved.
He delivered me. He was in the room.
Yes.
So this is a former neighbor and current, like, constantly texting, Chris Morris. Welcome to Geek Mentality. Welcome to JAWGUST.
Thank you, Michael. It's an honor.
You've been
to be part of this.
You've been after me for a while. You've been on. You've sent stuff into Movie Month, whether it's voicemails or just texts criticizing the movies I choose.
Yeah, no, I give you a fair critique. You know, I gave you some couple of attaboys, but
there were no Conjuring movies that came out this year, so
thankfully, I just had my input on the Hobbs and Shaw debacle that you did a service to me by.
I'm glad. Yeah,
I will never see that movie.
It was.
So, but I am a movie, junkie.
Yeah,
obviously, as you can tell. So,
and that's kind of why I started doing Movie Month, to try to. I mean, yes, there's still so many movies I haven't seen, but just to catch up on things, because I barely would go to theaters, and I find myself watching TV at home more than watching movies.
Yeah, well, right. Streaming shows, it's you got to balance it. So.
And then while I was finishing Movie Month, I thought the word JAWGUST popped in my head.
And it's one of those things where you came up with the title before the idea.
Exactly.
Absolutely, 100%.
And I sent it to you and my brother, and I was like, okay, it's got to happen. What we should be doing right now is my parents, Tammy and myself, we should be on a cruise ship right now. We should have left Friday, which would have made JAWGUST, awesome to be doing it from the ship every night. But instead, I find myself watching Jaws every single day, 17th time today. And
you may as well, we'll get into it, but we watch Jaws at our house almost every day during the summer anyways, which is, completely normal.
So if I was to say, when was the last time you watched Jaws?
I mean, last night, but
there you go.
So I haven't today.
Yeah, I have you beat.
But I mean, it's a summer movie. It's
exactly.
My wife is crazy too. She's even
that helps.
More over the top than me. Yeah, she's like, let's watch Jaws, and my kids are a little sick of it now. But we introduced her early.
That's
I think
good.
8 months. She was probably 4 actually. So, but I saw it in the theaters at age 5.
So so let's talk about the fandom. You saw it in the theater at age 5, doing the math. Okay, that adds up. That checks out.
Salem Tri Cinema for all, a lot of people out there nodding their heads.
Yeah, of course. Salem, New Hampshire. Yes. It's an empty Babies R Us now.
Yeah, absolutely. So my grandmother took my brothers and I. So my younger brother was 3. I was 5. My older brother, John, all Jaws fanatics.
PG movie. It's perfect.
Yeah, it was PG. So she told us she had it in our head to laugh whenever there's the shark attacks anyways. So I'm sure for the other people in the theater, it wasn't annoying at all for us to be dying laughing as Quint's getting eaten.
It's comedy classic.
Yeah. So and then over the years as we get older, just perfect movie. It's a comfort movie.
It is one of those movies where
we'll get into it, but not only is it a near perfect movie, we don't need to nitpick some of the things. Well, we can, but it's just good to have on. It's just like, it makes you feel good.
Yeah.
One of those movies that I would everything, the acting is fantastic. We'll get into my favorite parts of it, but one of my top 3 movies out of I have a trio of movies that I kind of consider my favorite. Kind of rotates, but so Goodfellas, Jaws, and Pulp Fiction somehow you know.
And
But
yet
Jaws Goonies just missed the cut
Just
at
missed the cut.
1,752.
But Back to the Future?
That's a perfect movie.
Let's see.
I don't know what it's probably in the top 20, 30.
See, when I was a kid, we like finally got a VCR in my room. That was the movie I watched every night, like falling asleep. Well, in the other room, my brother would be watching Jaws every night, falling asleep, usually with your stepbrother in the room too, on the floor. But
yeah, we don't need to get into
No.
all the dynamics of the twisted Brady Bunch.
how my yard was like a
It's nothing like this, but still. By the way, my kid's side story about Human Centipede, who doesn't have one? Somehow I was listening to a movie podcast, and they were talking about I think it was the most social misfit characters, and the character in that movie, they were mentioning that. So I had the two kids, and I was listening to the podcast, and they're like, and I'm like, let me explain Human Centipede to you.
Have you seen that?
Nope, I haven't seen it.
Neither have I. Yeah.
And I never will.
I don't think so, yeah.
But somehow we were at a certain gas station that we don't usually go to, going towards the beach down in Little Compton, New Hampshire. And my son, every time we pass the gas station, he says, "That reminds me of Human Centipede, Daddy." I'm like, "Me too, buddy. Me too." I said, "What doesn't?"
It's all I think about is the South Park episode. I can't even think about the
I
actual.
didn't see it, but
Yeah.
I would not. Can't bring myself to watch. I can sketch it, but
it's a very accurate sketch for not seeing the movie.
It's pretty amazing. I'm gonna hang that up. We're gonna hang that up. Oh, so I listened to the pod. I guess it was from yesterday.
Oh shit!
The Ray Romano one.
Look, I had. So
I didn't know we were doing impressions. I do a killer Brad Garrett, and I don't know if we're going to do that.
You go
this
for
episode. No. Hey, they can't all be home runs, Mikey. They can't all be home runs.
So right before that, like I don't know where I was watching.
That was my
Jaws.
reaction.
Yeah, exactly. I was watching it, and I'm like, it's like 11 o'clock.
By the way.
11 o'clock. Thanks. I was losing it, so I kept having to stop because they would just, and it just put a frog in your throat and then do a really heavy New York accent. That's it.
Still good.
Yeah.
Still impressive.
And I was like, I have to come up with something, and so that idea of this, like it's the shark was coming back for Quint, popped in my head, and I was like, that is a terrible idea. I have to do it. So then I started trying to do a Mike Tyson impression. And I was
what that was?
It was like, I'm a Jaws aficionado.
Spot on.
I couldn't do it. So I started just pretending to be a guy. I go, that kind of sounds like Ray Romano. I looked up, there is a 1976. Well, thank you. There's a 1976. It was awful. 1976 Jaws disco album, I guess. That's what that was.
Gotcha.
We jumped in on the craze, so.
Of course there was.
So yeah, I feel like some episodes I'm like, yeah, I have nothing. I just want to I look through my notes. I say a few things. I was hoping for a shark attack the other night. Nothing happened there.
Yeah, I listened to that. I actually was, I really sound like a loser. No offense.
No, you're one of the chosen 12 that listen.
Listening to the beginning of it when I started my run yesterday, and you were talking about, I think you saw somebody who was going into the water.
Yes.
And pretty horrible that it was apparent that you were wishing him to be attacked by a shark. It wasn't even just that he was going into the water. You were praying he would be killed by a shark.
I was like embarrassingly, unabashedly hoping for some sort of, I don't want him to maybe just like brush up against him and he freaks out and runs out. Some sort of like interaction.
Will you be able to edit out my accent, by the way?
And, absolutely, yes. I can I can turn.
I listen back and I'm like,
I can tweak the audio.
I don't have the Hollywood, you and Matt Damon can get rid of your R's.
I don't hear it, and then sometimes I'll like try to do an impression, and I'll say a word, and it's awful. I'm like, that is like I just dropped the R big time.
But it sounds, it sounds accurate though. People sound like that. Unfortunately, I sometimes do. So
It happens.
it does.
Oh, I hear my dog scratching at the door. That's why I'm outside, because I know my dog would be.
Was in here. Both beagles, right? Beagles.
Except she will constantly be
Unlike
jumping
Pippet,
on me.
God rest his soul.
Pippet. I thought that picture would get more traction with the Pippet. I put it on Instagram, like maybe 8 people. I'm like, what the hell? I realized
Almost double digits.
That's true. I should have I should have lowered the price to about $300 or $30.
Nice. Honestly, though, the Weezer song, impressive.
Thank you.
People with the shout outs on the Quint. So
awesome.
Good.
So there's a couple things that we need to discuss. First of all, I did put together a trivia thing. It's 10 questions. Should take us about 90 minutes now. And then of course the other thing, it's the I can't even think of it. It's the bull in the, what the hell's the saying? It's the thing it's the thing that we've constantly been arguing about back and forth.
Oh, Hooper. Yes.
Why don't we just get into this?
Okay.
First of all, I can't hear Quint say counting money without thinking that now. You ruined that for me.
Well, I mean, that really had the undertones of anti-Semitism, right?
I mean, I guess, but
supposedly on the set, Robert Shaw did a lot of jabbing at Richard Dreyfuss.
Oh, I know he did a lot of drinking.
That too.
Yeah.
That too. God rest his soul. God rest his soul.
Yeah, I mean, we've had a couple JAWGUST birthdays this month.
Happy birthday to your dad and Lorraine.
Yes. That's right.
Lorraine Gary.
Yeah, I forgot to mention my dad on the show yesterday, but it happened.
But yes, your Hooper theory, which is absurd.
Yes. Well, I think your theory, I wanted to buy into it, and the more I watch it, the 17th time I watch it, your theory is incorrect. Why don't you tell people what your theory is?
So it always bothered me when Hooper showed up to dinner with the 2 bottles of wine at the Brody's, with 2 bottles of wine and knocks on the door, lets himself in after Mrs. Brody says come in, said I brought a white and a red. Well, first he asked, is Martin home? Brought a white and a red. I didn't know what you'd be having. Serving, even more. So clearly Hooper was invited. I don't know if there's something left on the cutting room floor. That maybe other scenes where she mentioned, we invited, did you invite him for dinner? I don't know. But clearly Hooper was invited to dinner. I bounced this off my wife. She's like, oh, obviously he got invited to dinner. Then he says, is anybody eating this?
Right. He wouldn't.
Meaning, I don't see any food.
Why would he grab an unopened? They already ate dinner. They finished dinner.
He clearly realized that. He realized they had eaten dinner and was hungry first and foremost. And then also, it's going to be kind of a big hint to Mrs. Brody. But no, Mrs. Brody didn't take the hint. Terrible hostess. Martin had a bad day. Clearly his mind was on other things. Drunk already.
Something would jog his memory, like the fact that Hooper's eating.
So your theory is Hooper just barged in?
My theory is Hooper is a rich kid who's super confident, very confident.
He's a rich.
He grew up. He's very confident, like right off the bat. Gets off the boat, yells at those guys on the boat, comes in. He's kind of laughing, saying everyone's having a great time. I'm Matt Hooper. He yells at the medical examiner, tells Brody, don't smoke in here. Please don't smoke.
All deserved.
Very confident fella. And as a rich guy, what do you do? When you show up unannounced, you might as well bring a bottle of wine. And if you're so rich, why don't you just get 2 bottles of wine? I don't know what these people like. I don't know what they're serving. I'm showing up at dinner time unannounced. I don't even know if they're there. Is Martin here? I don't know. And then he's so confident that he's like, that's the joke. Now, maybe they turned it into the joke, but that is the joke that, hey, is anybody eating this? And then he takes the dinner and eats it.
Yeah. I'm not buying it.
I think. Is
there any way you could do a poll? What's over 50% of 12 people? I'm looking for 7.
I'll throw one out there. Throw one out there on Twitter.
Poll, was Hooper invited to dinner? Okay. So
okay.
I'm just glad, when Ellen is obviously enthralled, that scene you mentioned it a couple times.
Enthralled.
Ellen's enthralled. I'm glad I'm glad it didn't go the route of the book where she's washing her vagina in a motel bathroom.
See, I read that book once. I know there's, yeah. But I mean, she's tickled. And
your parents aren't gonna listen to this, right?
no, God, no. They don't even know what a podcast is.
All right, good.
They don't support anything I do.
I'm just glad it didn't go that route. When
Right.
She's got extra panties in her bag. And
It's like we don't need to dislike these people. We want to like all of them. The shark's the problem.
I agree.
I mean, except Larry Vaughn.
Well, I've he had his pluses.
I mean, he knew when and when not to cut over the
Clearly,
fish.
he was clearly right when he said we're not going to have some half-assed autopsy. I mean, did they really want to do that with all the people around? They have that
was the one time.
Mm-hmm.
The one time he was right, and when he signed, I mean, he was just looking out for the best interest of Amity.
He was. That's all he cared about is his constituents and his realty business.
That woman that so we all agree that Hooper showed up uninvited, right? That's where we're at.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
I tried.
You got me.
I want to talk about. I haven't spoken about her in the episode yet much. I don't know the character's name, but she is the motel owner. She's the woman who tells Ellen.
Yeah. I don't think that's funny.
I don't think that's funny at all. She's like, we don't even know if there's a shark.
She's married to the guy who talks to Martin about.
And he needs favors. These are the people who all they care about.
Hotel.
Yeah, there's some cats parking in front. Then there's a truck. There's like a dump truck or a garbage truck.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he's trying to watch off in the distance. But like they sound like it's like that real life thing of we need to open our business. So who cares about the public? Like the 2020. It's very 2020.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And I do like that her husband's like, why do you always have to be the heavy? Like, I don't know if you catch that right when they get in. I have the subtitles on, so I've been watching.
Say some crazy thing. Like even Brody's first line, what does he say? Like he says something about the sun.
Well, he says,
did they move? How come the sun's over here now?
Yeah, and he's like, we bought the place in the fall. But then when he's leaving the house, he goes, missing person. I got to go, missing person. And you can't even barely hear it. And then I wonder if HBO gets them wrong sometimes, because I'm like, I'm not sure what. I don't even know what the hell is take him for ballast means. When he says Hooper, I looked it up. It's like for balance or for weight. That's why they're taking Hooper.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he goes, we'll take him for ballast, Chief. He's like, all right. I'm like, I don't know what that means.
I missed that. I know.
There's
supposed to be a Jaws expert.
Right. And there's so many times where it says indiscernible muttering, and it's mostly Quint.
I could see that. I could see Quint. I could see. Well, you showed that scene of Quint's little lackey that never. Was that a real scene?
That was a real scene that makes so much sense when you hear him say
on the boat.
Yeah.
He should have been on the boat. Like it can't get a good man under 60. He's yelling about that guy. Didn't make any sense. Like it sounded like he's just rambling, which actually works too. Oh, he's the best rambler.
The best. So that woman, there's another scene where it's right. Well, they're after the guy says, I'm waiting for my suntan to absorb, and he goes into the water. Everyone goes in. She's in there, and she says something about Larry too. She's like, oh, I can barely stand Larry. He's like, hey, lover. It's little things. I'm looking like the tiniest things now, and I'm just thinking, man, Larry is a smooth operator with that lady specifically.
Really? So you think a little side?
I wouldn't. Or he's he's very flirty, and she can take it.
Well, he's a smooth talker, injured some bathers. I mean,
exactly. May have
injured some bathers. Yeah. Really softened it up for the newscast, the reporter, which, I bought it. I was like, he's right. Yeah. I'm ready. It's the 4th of July. It's fucking 4th of July. Let's go.
Where's the Watkins family? Nobody shows up.
Yeah. Was she an Islander? There's no background in that.
By the way, no idea.
By the way, her, you were saying how irresponsible she was going so far out. How about the fact that she's dropping just articles of clothing, like not close to each other?
Yeah, just like, I'll find them later.
You're not going to find, I mean, she was a free spirit though.
Absolutely. And he was lucky. He was lucky he was drunk.
He was, yeah. He would be, he's suspect number one. Him or Hendrix?
Hendrix, man.
Him or
Hendrix, today I noticed something for the first time today. That when Hendrix says, I think I sent you a screenshot. When Hendrix says, I must have been a glare, or I thought I saw a shadow, must have been a glare. You see something moving.
I don't know.
And it's not the fin, but I'm thinking it could be one of the kids, like the wetsuits of the kids.
Oh,
You
yeah.
just see it.
Yeah, last week.
Yeah.
I deleted it.
Because I saw, you see the fin go by when you're the guy who yells, Jesus Christ, shark, 350. But before that, you just see this little, it's almost like Harry with his bad hat, like just see the head go by. And I mean, for all I know, it could have been really something out there, but I was like, oh shit, I think that's one of the kids.
That was, yeah, that's a good cat.
Now I'll never unsee it.
You are really digging deep. I love it.
I am actively now looking anywhere but where the people are talking to see people's reactions.
Besides the main plot, you're in.
I got everything else going on. Like, that's where I saw those guys in white dress shirts. I'm like, where do these guys come from?
I'll give you this for a trivia question. I don't know if you have it as part of your trivia. What is the only scene that they had to design a set? Is that like they didn't have a setting to film it? You know, like they had to actually build a set for this one scene.
I don't know this, so
You can guess.
I'm going to guess the shark autopsy, the tiger shark.
No.
Damn it.
The Quint's home base. They had to build that. That was his shark with the shark
jaws
and all the teeth and his
okay. Is that where he lives?
moonshine,
You think?
Moonshine. Yeah, it's very unclear. I mean, he had at least 3 wives. I mean,
That's true.
How could they not?
And one of them died. Yeah. We have no idea how.
Her demise was very celebrated.
I can't believe I'd never that's one of these things this is doing for me is I've seen this movie plenty of times. I haven't watched it all the way through, I'm going to say, in years. And I'm like, just hearing that and seeing Dreyfuss laugh, I'm convinced that was real. Like, I'm convinced he snuck that in. I don't know. Either that or they're so good.
Fantastic. So good. So I've noticed this a few times.
Whatever you want.
It's part of it's not nitpicking, but I remember watching it last year and thinking this, and then last night on the 57th viewing of this summer, I was like, they could have. I was with my kids, and I was about to say they could have easily. I was thinking of like a bazooka. I'm like, they could have had, and I'm like, how they gonna get that? You know what? And then I was like, much more simple than that. If they had a shotgun, all it would have taken was a shotgun.
A good shotgun, yeah. What did Brody? Quinn have a rifle.
Quinn had a rifle. Any type of shotgun, close range.
Yeah.
That shot came so close that it would have been a fatal shot.
Or if Hooper didn't get his little click, because Quinn was going for the head.
I guess I heard that.
I don't know if that would have taken him out.
I was like, yeah.
I don't even know what that did. That blinking thing. He never read you. Maybe it was like if in case the shark never came back, they could track it.
That's a good point.
All I did was blink when they were singing "Show Me the Way to Go Home."
That was one of my favorite scenes. I know you got to talk about John Williams, but I don't think any score contributed more to a movie. Not just the build-up, not just the famous, but just every scene. When they get the first barrel on them, and they're all excited. Yeah. And you have that upbeat score, and Hooper's like, I'm gonna bring it around.
Then it goes.
So excited.
Yeah.
And it just every aspect of the music was.
I was watching something on John Williams talking about it today, and Steven Spielberg, how he introduced him to the score.
I don't know either of those guys.
That's
Just kidding.
I hope. No, I was going to explain them fully for the next 20 minutes, but they were talking about how you got conditioned for the music. So when you hear the music, the shark's coming. And then when you take away the music, like when it's the fake fin, you don't expect the shark coming. So then later on, while Brody's chumming, or when Hooper and Quint are bringing in the rope, you don't hear any music. You're not expecting it, and then boom, it pops out. So it's like the music works and the lack of music works.
Absolutely. 100%.
And it was like they were. I mean, it's crazy how much like John Williams has scored my childhood. Basically, it's ridiculous.
But I think that movie, that was the best part of that movie, and it was also influenced. It was as big a part of that movie than any other movie.
Yeah.
Before.
Oh yeah.
It really was just.
He says
really,
half. He always, like Steven Spielberg said, like half of the success.
Besides
Human Centipede, which John Williams did score. I
heard that.
It was.
He had an Oscar. He won his second Oscar for that.
Yeah, it was quite. I got nothing. I couldn't think of a third thing to say. Oh man, it's getting dark. It was so nice out before.
Yeah, it is dark. I'm in the confines of my room. So
you want to?
I wanted to bring up the shotgun. I wanted to bring up the score.
There's one thing that I hate noticing errors because I want to say it's a perfect movie. No movie has no mistakes.
The shirt.
The shirt. Yes, the shirt. But how many barrels are on that boat?
You know what's funny? I asked my kids as like a trivia. There's 5, right?
Okay, there are 5. Because I feel at one point there were 3 in the water and 3 out, and then I felt like there was 1 in the water and 3 there. So I mean, it could obviously just could have been consistence of when they shot things. If
I kept track, I half paid attention, but when I tried to pay attention when they showed all the barrels, yeah, you may be right. They might have continuity.
But I'm trying to explain everything, so I'm like, obviously they kept a couple barrels underneath. There's down. They take them out when they need them because they can only fit so many out there for safety purposes.
Yeah, we can get around that.
So
can we call Dave? I know you're gonna have him on later. Like the Pabst Blue Ribbon, PAPST. Yeah. Pabst Blue Ribbon was Quint's beer of choice.
Yeah.
And
was there something else? But he
probably
went
a trivia question, so I don't want to say it.
He went to Topsfield last night and saw Jaws at the drive-in.
Told me, oh yeah.
I don't even know if he stayed for the whole thing. I say, can you please take a picture of the screen? I want to see Jaws on the screen. He sends me a picture of the white screen while it's still light out. I'm like, you idiot. I go, can you send me one with the project, like the movie? He's like, sure. I get a picture later. He goes, well, this is a cool one, and it's the projector booth. Show like the light, and I'm like, that's great. I'm done asking because at this point, I think he left. I don't even think he stayed. He's like, I've seen it so many times. I'm like, that's the point.
Yeah. He's not a Jaws fan. I mean, he's not going to get this anyways. But.
He won't get this, but we went to Jaws Fest.
I know.
And I don't even think we stayed for the whole movie.
That was in Martha's Vineyard?
That was in Martha's Vineyard, yeah.
So, yeah, that's the side note is that when I got married at Martha's Vineyard in 2008. Where we got married, like I said, we didn't know that was the Jaws Bridge, or we didn't notice it was like, right by the water, right where Brody runs up on the rocks.
Does anybody have a gun?
Fantastic. Yeah, I love the random sound editing. Yeah. But so then we didn't even mention Jaws, and then we just go there every year. We love Martha's Vineyard, and but now we notice when Brody gets the supplies up right around the street from the police station when he's walking down, we're like, oh, that's Edgartown. That's we go into that store, and we don't remember exactly where they shot. I've read many books by Carl Gottlieb.
Yes, the Jaws log, that one.
Jaws log, yeah. Great stuff.
He's great in interviews too.
Yeah, he's got it all.
Yeah.
I mean, he knows it all. So, but what were we saying?
I forget. You were in Martha's Vineyard.
But Martha's Vineyard, yes. Okay, so yeah, we've never been on a Jaws tour or anything like that. So, hey, speak of the devil, talking about Martha's Vineyard. Yes, excuse me. He'll edit this out.
Oh yeah.
You ever meet Mike? So, when she listens to this tomorrow,
yes,
she is it a bad sign? No offense to you, but every time I said, "Oh yeah, I get the Zoom call from Mikey's Jaws podcast," she would snicker.
No, please. I say to my wife, she's like,
I heard. I just hope I just wanted to bring the energy of Tam.
Oh yeah. Yes.
To this episode.
I
No.
didn't tell her I was good. I just shoved it right in her face. And I didn't get I was like, I wanted to say there wasn't enough sex in it, but I screwed up the line and she just looked at me. It was like,
That was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look of death.
yeah,
Fantastic.
absolutely.
Nice.
So, Jaws trivia. Are you
Okay.
ready?
I am.
All right. I have 9 questions and then a 10th bonus question.
Okay.
Some of these I'm sure are going to be very easy.
Some
and
of
this-
them are going to be like obscure things that I don't.
I
Like,
hope
how much
so.
did Jaws make? No.
I hope so. I think they're probably way too easy. Some of them I wrote down. I'm like, shit, I already talked about this. So,
Sometimes, like I said, forest between. I'm not making excuses beforehand, but all right, hit me.
okay. Question 1: how many times did Brody wet Quint's reel?
Geez, that is a good question. I think Quinn overreacted. He's like, I think he only did it twice. Or was it once?
I believe it was once. From what I could tell, once. And then he said, "No more. You're gonna drown me. I want you to drown me."
I mean, when you say wet though, like
That's true.
like a
That's true.
constant stream,
I
I'm not looking for an out, but I literally was like, Quinn, relax. You just told him you asked for water, and
That's what I noticed. I thought, oh, this is what he's doing. Oh, he only does it once.
Yeah.
And he's already yelling at Hooper.
Yeah.
Aren't you watching it?
I love it.
Okay. Never mind, like the people jibber jabbering at the beginning, smoking their weed. What are the first and last words spoken in the movie?
Okay, let me go for the last. Like, can't imagine why is the last.
Why is the
first?
last?
The first. What's your name?
What's your, I was just looking for what's. Ding ding ding.
Okay.
What's,
yeah, I guess that would be the word.
Yeah.
And then
Yep.
why?
The why one was a little much easier, I thought, but I had to add the first one.
These
All
not
right.
that easy. I'm already sweating.
I mean, this one I think is pretty easy because I've already spoken about it. How does Steven Spielberg make a cameo in the movie?
He actually, so he's on the radio. He's a Coast Guard voice.
Yes.
But I think he also plays like an instrument during the 4th of July.
Oh, really?
I don't think he's in it, but yeah, okay. But like him playing some instrument is part of it. But yeah,
you should watch that video that I sent. It's
Not
like
yet.
it's an old interview with him, and he's like, "This is day 2 of a 54-day shoot."
Oh, really?
Which is like, what didn't it go like over 100 days? When
Yeah.
he's like,
I think so.
it was cool just to hear him talking.
Nice.
What is the specific diagnosis given to Michael Brody in the hospital?
I guess shock. I don't know.
Can you be more specific?
No, like
Mild shock.
mild shock. I've seen the movie. I have seen. I swear to you, mild shock. Well, specific. Yeah. Okay.
It was
I
just a
didn't
case
say-
of mild shock.
Okay.
It wasn't a mild case of shock. It was a case of mild shock.
She's taking him home, though. He wants her to take
That's
him
true.
home.
Okay.
No, here.
Oh, number 5. The young fella who reported Chrissy missing is an islander, but he lives off the island and he goes to college. What college did he attend?
Shit. He grew up in Yukon. I mean, he grew up in Connecticut. Parents, he moved to Connecticut. Cornell?
Trinity.
Trinity. That's a layup. It's a
I
layup.
thought that was a layup.
It is a layup.
This one's easy.
Yeah.
How many men went into the water? How many men came out?
1,100?
Yes.
Like, that's not easy.
I thought,
It's like 300. It's like 316.
boom, nailed it. Perfect.
That's not easy.
All right. Okay.
I read a book on the USS Indiana.
All right. There's a Nick Cage movie that I think is garbage. Okay. Brody goes out on that barge and tells the guy to bring him out to the Boy Scouts. What is the name of that guy? He says the guy's name. Bring me out.
I actually heard it the last time. I really don't. I really don't know. It can't be Ben. They wouldn't double up a Ben.
There's already 2 Bens.
Yes, there are already 2 Bens. I pass. I can't even.
It is Charlie. Charlie, take me out to those boys.
You know what? You know what's funny? I thought, oh, 2 Charlies in the movie.
Well, okay. Oh, well, I might have overstepped.
It's not the same
next
one, is
question.
it?
I don't think so. But name the 2 men with the holiday roast.
Charlie and I don't know the other guys.
Den Herder. You got to watch what you watch what the things because you hear Hendrix say, and then Den Herder Charlie had to tell his wife about the holiday roast.
Well, you know,
freezer full of meat.
You know what's
Yes.
embarrassing is that I know the guy who played Den Herder's. I told you this. I know his grandson.
So Den Herder is the guy who says, "Cash a check."
Cash a check, yeah.
Okay.
All of that dubbed in because they were such half-assed. Him and the guy who played Charlie, they had to dub in all their lines.
So that's not his voice?
That's not his voice. None of it's his voice. None of it's their voice when they do the scene because they're amateurs.
Well, Den Herder, I swore it was Mel Blanc. It sounded so much like old Warner Brothers Looney Tunes cartoons. I was like,
that would be weird flex. Let's have Mel Blanc do.
But I did read that June Foray came in and did some voices like overlays for Michael and Sean. She's
Really?
she's the Rocky. She's like animation, Rocky Squirrel.
Yep.
I read something about that.
So I'm afraid Dave's gonna know Trinity. That's a layup. I just joke. But just if you ask him what beer Quint is drinking.
Oh yes.
I'm glad it evens out there.
Yep.
So, yeah. Trinity.
All right, so I got only 2 more. One main one. This one, I want to say this over and over. I don't even think I could pronounce it. What's the Latin terminology Hooper refers to the Great White as? When he's telling Larry.
Oh, when he says.
Not the squalus stuff. That I want to.
Oh, I was going to say the squalus.
Oh no, this is okay. That's when he's examining the remains.
I'm going to know it when I heard it because I've seen it so many times. It just things that,
I tried to look for some hard ones.
Something vaginous.
It is he goes, it's a I can't even say it.
Carcharodon
carcarius. It's a great white.
That, you know what?
We should have seen the tooth.
My brothers are going to both know that. Absolutely. Carcharion carius.
So this is the bonus, and I'm going to check these off as they go. With all the people in this movie, there are 17 cast members listed. How many can you name? You don't have to give me the actor's name, just the character's name. 17.
I can name some characters too.
Yeah, just the character. We don't need.
I
we
can
don't
name
need the
some actors like Jeffrey Voorhees
and Jeffrey Voorhees is
Alex Kittner. Jeffrey Kramer is Hendrix.
Okay, I'm just going to check these off as I go.
The big 3. Do I have to say Robert Shaw, Richard Dreyfuss, and Roy Scheider?
I will. Yeah, just for official stuff. That's good.
And Lorraine Gary, and Chrissy Watkins was Suzanne.
You got Chrissy. That's
okay. Murray Hamilton, fantastic.
Of course, unbelievable.
Meadows.
Very good.
Quint. Oh, I already. Let's see. Harry, Bad Hat.
I don't see him listed.
Oh, he's not listed in the.
No, these are the 7. These are the ones.
I got you. My bad.
Just like at the credits at the end.
So Mrs. Kittner, Lee Fierro or something.
Very good. Which I'm going to assume that's her dad that's with her. They went straight from the funeral to the docks.
Yeah, I hope so. Was Craig Kingsbury? Was Ben Gardner listed?
Very good.
Craig Kingsbury. Pete eventually had to have been listed.
Very good.
How many we at?
So let's see. You have. Let me think who you have left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left.
5 left.
Yeah.
Okay, let's think of the. I don't think Paulie was Paulie.
Paulie's not listed.
What an outrage!
You know what's sad is that if you look up Paulie, there's a Paulie in Jaws the Revenge.
No.
And Mrs. Kittner's in Jaws the Revenge in a scene too.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
Was the island the Trinidad dude that I blew his
he's not from Trinidad, but yes, he's listed.
Trinity.
Could you think of his name?
You're so racist. Can I think of his name?
They never say it, but it's in the credits. That's what he's
Was it
listed
really?
as.
Craig. He looked like a Craig.
Cassidy, and I think it's his last name, Tom Cassidy. That
Okay.
leaves us with 4 more people. Now, it's just, that I don't want to give away too much. 4 people.
Okay. So did I already mention Charlie?
Yeah, he's not. Yep.
Oh, so Charlie and Den. What's his name?
None of those. Yeah, no Charlie, no Den Herder, no
Herder.
Harry.
What an outrage. I mentioned Murray Hamilton, or did I not?
Yeah.
Some
of these. I don't want to give away too much, but they may not even have names.
Oh, Michael and Sean.
Oh, okay. Well, they have names. Yes. You have them both. That leaves 2 people.
2 people.
2 characters. I will give you a hint. Neither one has a name that we.
The Tiger Shark guy.
Nope.
What an outrage.
Not an outrage.
So, and Ben Gardner wasn't. I'm gonna circle back to Ben Gardner.
He was listed. Yeah.
Oh, Craig Kingsbury was listed.
Yep.
Okay, my bad. Guy with dynamite was not listed.
I love that guy. He was like a Muppet.
Guy's the greatest.
Going on the boat.
Fantastic. Let's see. This makes for great podcasting.
They have lines.
They do have lines. So it's going to be. Is it the lady who's all tan? She's got to be listed.
It's not, surprisingly.
Hell, her husband's not listed.
Nope.
Pippin's owner.
Nope.
Don't say it.
Nope.
Don't say it. I mean, I could go through the whole movie.
That's fine.
I'm clearly going to have to. Nobody at the beginning.
This is absolutely our longest episode yet. So
nobody at the beginning. Or it shouldn't be anybody at that party.
At the beginning, no. At the party, no.
Right. It's just Chrissy. So it shouldn't be anybody downtown. It shouldn't be the guy bitching and whining about the
Summer Ginks.
One thing I haven't got one thing I ordered on this.
The Summer Ginks don't show up till June.
Yeah.
I love that they left in Brody knocking over the brushes too. They kept.
Oh, fantastic! Well, that was part of
stuff,
part of his character. So, the guy who puts the suntan lotion is not listed.
No, he's absorbing. No,
he's in multiple scenes.
He is. He's on the barge.
So it's going to be somebody. It's going to be the guy who gets eaten, his leg cut off, his leg bitten off.
He's listed as estuary victim.
Estuary victim.
And he also plays the man in the freezer with Chunk in Goonies. The dead body. Yes, my brother pointed that out to me. It was a great day in our household.
We don't need to go there, but
one
person more.
Man,
it should be the girl. It should be the girl who's saying the shark is in the pond. I mean, that girl.
She was fantastic.
Somebody. Is it anybody at the? Is it Quint's sidekick?
Nope.
He should be listed. Is it somebody at the town meeting?
I don't know if he's at the town meeting.
I already mentioned.
Should be that woman who turns around at the town meeting.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Nobody gives a better look than Harry. He gives like.
But then you notice that husband again, the guy who's always looking for favors. Yeah. He's like leaning over when Quint's talking. He turns around and then he turns around and he looks like he leans to get out of the camera way. I'm like, dude, you almost ruined a perfect shot.
That's awesome. Was it the lifeguard?
Nope. One listing left.
This is tough. Okay, let's. By the way, I have a bone to pick with you.
Most people do.
Mrs. I don't think Ellen. I think Ellen's just upset that he's going on.
She runs up. Oh.
Yeah, I don't think her sensibilities. A little bit. But she gets drunk and fools around. But
yeah.
So but I think that everything built up and Brody Martin going on this trip, he may never come back. I think she's just like, I'm very
upset.
Yes. So it's got to be is it on the 4th of July?
No.
Before that, before the 4th of July. So it's, is it any of the fishermen that catch? The photographer is Meadows. Oh no, Meadows is with the photographer. Damn it. I kind of ran out of people.
And I'll also say there's no name listed.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so because I can't believe this guy got a shout out. Can't believe he got a credit cast listing. It wasn't on the 4th of July. It wasn't in the medical examiner.
That's I was kind of doing him. I'm sitting there like this. He's like, I was wrong.
Right.
And he puts his glasses up.
And as soon as he folds his arms, as soon as Brody.
And he looks ashamed when Hooper has given him the business.
All right, what 5 things does Hooper say that it's not? Pretty easy.
Okay. I'll say that, but real quick, that guy is named Dr. Robert Niven, lives in Martha's Vineyard, is a real doctor.
Good for him. Very convincing.
Okay.
Incompetent doctor.
5 things that Hooper says it wasn't. Well, it wasn't a boat accident. It wasn't any propeller. It wasn't a coral reef.
Right.
It wasn't Jack the Ripper. There's a 5th?
Is it 4 or 5? Might be.
And also, there's a weird cut because he picks up the arm and goes, "This is what happens," and then he's like, "I'm like, I wonder what was cut there." I feel like maybe it was a longer speech.
Hooper, let's look up. I threw you a curveball by saying what 5.
See, if I came up with 5, that'd be brilliant.
I think that might be it. But the trick of it was the boat accident and a propeller, and coral reef, and Jack the Ripper. Final thoughts? Oh, you're the host. Sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. That was it. That was those were the only things Hooper mentions. One of my favorite parts.
Yeah.
It's that I keep quoting now. John mentioned it. It rotates my favorite Quint quotes, but the taxidermy man is fantastic.
You beat me
I
to
do
it.
that to my kids nonstop. Wait till you see what I bring them.
He's gonna have a heart attack. And he's so excited, and just the
How
way
about
he says it.
See what I bring them? Yeah, fantastic.
Great. Even when he's like, "That's not permanent." Like when he says the permanent, boom, 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 boom. Like the whole thing is.
Yeah. Quint's. If you had asked me, I had it in my mind. I'm like, what if I'm asked my favorite part, and I'm like the whole second act is my favorite part, but it really rotates. But I was thinking of saying the if you had to say what was the best, it was the Indianapolis speech, and just them laughing. That might be the best scene of the whole thing, and it had nothing to do with the shark. By the way, my wife and I were criticizing a little bit the shark just hammering like
boom, real quick, boom, boom, boom,
banging on that. I love how Brody's the last one. Obviously Brody's going to be the last one to realize it. Yeah. But my favorite scene lately is just, I think it's when Quint's first fishing and Brody, don't drown me, and it's just so fantastic. The music and it's perfect.
I've been saying
I like Josh, by the way.
Wait, we have an electric toothbrush. Every time I hold it out, I go, electric toothbrush. I just say that like sonar, radar, electric toothbrush.
Hope you brought your rubbers.
Yeah, that one. Also,
you think Sean got that?
Oh yeah. Oh,
shout out to Sean. Shout out to Sean. He's going to be listening to this. No,
the shorter Sean. No, he didn't get it.
No, yeah. Oh. No. That's my shout out to Sean.
Yeah, right. Hey, Sean. What is Quint rambling about when Brody and Ellen are saying goodbye to each other? He's yelling about, you can't get a good woman. Is he yelling about Ellen Brody? Oh, their grandmothers are better than them. It's like young woman.
Oh, I gotta focus in again. It's great. Front, stern.
That
front bow, back stern.
I think he's just, I don't know if he's lit or what, but he's like, if you see a shark, swallow. I'm like, I don't even know what that means.
I don't get it.
But I love it.
But it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Batten Hatches, Madison Avenue, all these things. He just is having a ball.
He really should have been nominated. I agree. When you look at who was nominated in 1975, it was. Yeah. He definitely should have been nominated.
Do you know the 3 Oscars? That bonus question. You know what 3 Oscars they did win?
Well, I know John Williams.
Yep.
Did film editing win?
Verna Fields, yep.
Vernon Fields. Whose pool they used, by the way, to film the Ben Gardner scene. Is it cinematography? Oh, no. Adapted script?
Nope.
Adapted screenplay? What an outrage. She did
I know, right?
adapted screenplay?
It's ridiculous. Well, was Cuckoo's Nest a book? Maybe that. Cuckoo's Nest is definitely a book, yeah. I knew that, see?
Cuckoo's Nest was really good.
Sound.
Oh, yes.
And actually, Roy Scheider was giving the speech, like he was presenting the award.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if you look up, if you go to Oscars YouTube and type in Jaws and some cool things.
You gotta do more on Roy Scheider. The guy's awesome. I loved him in Marathon Man.
French Connection, I know.
French Connection, he was the other guy, and
but
even his latest stuff. But
Blue
Brody,
Thunder.
the kids and I. Yes,
He's Brody forever.
He's Brody. He's Brody forever.
Even like Quint. I don't know Quint. I don't know Robert Shaw all that much. I know he was
you
in
see the
James Bond.
Taking It, Pelham 1, 2, 3.
I've never seen that.
Fantastic. And he was in a Bond from Russia.
Was he in The Deep?
Oh yeah, he was in The Deep too.
Yeah.
That was a pretty good movie.
Was that a Benchley book too?
It was a Benchley book. That and The Island. Remember The Island?
I kind of remember. Yeah.
Michael Caine. We won't mention what else.
Michael Caine. He was in. Yeah.
No, we won't mention. There was started and ended with Jaws, the original. So all right, let's end it.
Yeah, let's. Gotta end it with that. End it how he started it. Full circle. Much like the human centipede. What comes in must go out. Full circle.
Exactly. It's been a pleasure, Mikey.
Awesome. Thank you so much for doing this. Will you join me next year for JAWGUST 2?
I'll be watching it, so I'll brush up on my Trinity and.
No. I don't think you understand.
Good.
JAWGUST 2.
Oh no, I'm up.
I don't know if I could do that, man. I had this idea to do 2, 3, and 4 over the next 4 years, and I'm like, man, it's easy to watch, but hard to talk about a movie that's excellent every day.
Never mind. Garbage movie.
Yeah. I definitely want to rewatch the second one just to.
I'm gonna watch Jaws.
Yeah.
Late tonight, after I have another bourbon, I'm gonna watch Jaws.
Fantastic.
It's a comfort movie. Mikey, thanks for having me.
Awesome. I'm gonna watch it tomorrow again.
Great.
Thank you so much, Chris. Anything you want to plug? That's what they say on podcasts.
Oh yeah, they do. Oh, you know what? My buddy's. I didn't even think of this. I just noticed I'm wearing it. Strong Side Brewery.
All right.
He is up and coming brewer. He's an engineer for. I forget where he engineers.
Now he's an official sponsor of Geek Mentality.
He's an official sponsor. His beer is fantastic. He's
awesome.
really trying to He's trying to get a brewery to where he can brew it and sell it. He works at so Strong Side Brewery. Got to try it. Peace out. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. And
Here is my theme song.
this is my podcast. I made it. Geek Mentality's what I named it. And I think you should listen and subscribe. Cause I'm kinda funny and awesome. I think that I'm worth your time. And I'm kinda handsome. My mom says, please listen and please subscribe. At least listen to this episode.
Fans not experts.